The U.S. Navy dominates every ocean on Earth. But inside the Strait of Hormuz, 21 miles wide, carrying a fifth of the world's oil, Iran built something designed not to defeat it, but to make any fight ruinously expensive. Mines, swarm boats, drones, missiles, costing a fraction of the warships they threaten. That strategy was forged on a single devastating day in 1988, and its logic has only sharpened since. On April 14, 1988, the guided missile frigate USS Samuel B. Roberts was transiting the Persian Gulf on escort duty. An Iranian M08 contact mine detonated directly beneath the hull. The blast ripped a 21-foot hole in the ship, broke its keel, and flooded the engine room. Though nearly split in two, the crew battled fires and rising water for 5 hours, saving the vessel with 0 fatalities. Navy divers soon recovered unexploded mines nearby. Their serial numbers matched those seized from the captured Iranian mine layer Iran Ajr, linking the attack directly to Tehran. A $10,000 weapon had almost destroyed an advanced warship. 4 days later, on April 18, 1988, the United States retaliated with Operation Praying Mantis. A task force centered around the aircraft carrier USS Enterprise launched a coordinated surface and air assault. United States Marines destroyed the Sasan and Siri oil platforms, which served as forward military outposts. During the clash, American warships engaged in the only direct anti-ship missile exchange in United States history, sinking the missile boat Joshan and the frigate Sahand, while heavily damaging the Sabalan. Losing half its operational fleet in a single day, Tehran learned a decisive lesson. It could never survive a conventional fight against American naval power. On July 3, 1988, the guided missile cruiser USS Vincennes tracked an aircraft departing Bandar Abbas. Under intense combat stress from a surface clash with gunboats, the crew misidentified the civilian Airbus A300 as an attacking F-14. The cruiser fired 2 missiles, destroying Iran Air Flight 655 and killing all 290 people on board. The tragedy left an enduring scar in Tehran. It generated deep, lasting distrust of the American naval presence, proving that U.S. forces were both overwhelming and lethally prone to error. This psychological rupture forced a complete overhaul of Iranian naval doctrine. The devastation of the 1988 clashes made one reality undeniable to Tehran. Confronting the United States Navy in a conventional ship-for-ship conflict was a recipe for total destruction. In response, Iran abandoned traditional naval ambition. The state bifurcated its maritime forces, splitting responsibilities to exploit separate strategic environments. The regular Artesh Navy retained the legacy surface fleet, tasked with conventional operations in the open waters of the Gulf of Oman. Meanwhile, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy took exclusive control of the shallow, confined waters of the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. This dual structure abandoned the goal of outright victory, focusing instead on active deterrence, making foreign intervention too costly to sustain. The geography of the Strait of Hormuz transforms this narrow gateway into a strategic bottleneck. At its tightest point, the waterway narrows to just 21 nautical miles. All commercial traffic must squeeze through shipping lanes that are only 2 miles wide in each direction, separated by a small buffer. Through this corridor passes roughly 20 million barrels of oil every day, nearly 20% of the global supply. Iran's naval base at Bandar Abbas, along with fortified military outposts on the islands of Abu Musa and the Tums, sit directly adjacent to these lanes. Within this restricted space, Iran's estimated stockpile of 5,000 to 6,000 naval mines becomes a potent force multiplier, This arsenal includes legacy M08 contact mines and sophisticated Maham-3 and Maham-7 influence mines. A mine, costing a few $1,000s, can threaten a billion-dollar warship. Clearing these lanes is slow, dangerous, and operationally expensive. The ultimate objective is strategic doubt and temporary disruption, rather than a perfectly sealed waterway. The surface of the Strait of Hormuz is saturated by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy's fast attack fleet and unmanned systems. The IRGC operates hundreds of small boats, many measuring under 50 feet in length and capable of pushing speeds past 50 knots. These highly maneuverable craft carry unguided rockets, heavy machine guns, short-range missiles, or high explosives. By pairing these surface swarms with reconnaissance and one-way attack drones, Iran presents a multi-domain threat. This combination of sea and sky harassment mirrors the tactical models later observed in Houthi operations in the Red Sea during 2023, where low-cost systems forced high-value warships to deplete expensive defense reserves. The real-world friction of this doctrine became clear on January 6, 2008. 5 IRGC speedboats aggressively maneuvered within close range of 3 transit-bound U.S. warships: the guided missile cruiser USS Port Royal, the destroyer USS Hopper, and the frigate USS Ingraham. The speedboats swarmed the formation, dropping objects in the water and broadcasting threatening radio transmissions before peeling away. This tactical vulnerability was famously modeled in the Millennium Challenge 2002 wargame. In that simulation, a Red Team adversary deployed swarming speedboats and a massive, unexpected missile salvo, successfully saturating the defense systems of a U.S. task force and theoretically sinking 16 major warships, including an aircraft carrier. The exercise coordinators quickly reset the simulation and refloated the ships under modified rules, but the initial result exposed a critical vulnerability in conventional defense. To push the threat past the immediate shoreline, Iran deploys mobile coastal launchers armed with sea-skimming anti-ship missiles. The Noor and Qadr, both derived from the Chinese C-802 design, fly just meters above the waves to evade shipboard radar. Hidden within rugged coastal cliffs and islands, these truck-mounted launchers execute rapid shoot-and-scoot tactics, firing and relocating before Western counterstrikes can land. Above this cruise missile layer sits an anti-ship ballistic threat. Unveiled in 2011, the Khalij Fars missile, adapted from the Fateh 110 family, carries a 650-kilogram warhead. Guided by an electro-optical seeker, it targets moving warships at ranges up to 300 kilometers. Later variants, like the radar-hunting Hormuz 2 and the extended-range Zulfikar Basir, push Iran's standoff reach deeper into the Gulf of Oman. Beneath the waves, 3 Russian-built Kilo-class diesel submarines patrol these deeper waters. Meanwhile, in the shallow, acoustically chaotic environment of the Persian Gulf, Iran deploys Ghadir midget submarines. These small vessels exploit the difficult conditions to degrade enemy sonar, waiting silently to seed mines or launch sudden torpedo and missile ambushes. On June 20, 2019, an Iranian third of Khordad surface-to-air missile destroyed an American RQ-4 Global Hawk near the Strait of Hormuz. The unmanned aircraft was valued at over $100 million. A retaliatory United States airstrike was ordered, then canceled minutes before launch, turning American restraint into a powerful strategic signal. This shootdown exposes the economic math of Iranian saturation. Tehran does not rely on a single decisive weapon, but on simultaneous deployment. By launching ballistic missiles, sea-skimming cruise missiles, drones, and speedboats together, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps aims to overwhelm Aegis radar systems and exhaust limited stocks of multi-million-dollar interceptors. The attrition calculation favors the cheap weapon over the expensive defense. While Iran cannot defeat the Fifth Fleet in a conventional campaign or close the strait permanently, it does not need to. Even a brief disruption lasting days or weeks spikes global oil prices and insurance rates, giving Tehran massive geopolitical leverage. Tehran understands that sealing the Strait of Hormuz permanently would devastate its own oil-dependent economy. Instead, the strategic value lies in the credible threat of closure. Routine naval drills, sudden commercial ship seizures, and coastal missile tests serve as active reminders of this latent power. By maintaining this friction, Iran exerts continuous pressure on international oil markets and Western foreign policy. In 2026, as United States and Iranian forces remain positioned around the narrow corridor, this hostile equilibrium persists. The cheap weapon does not need to fire to preserve its hold over global trade. The goal was never to win a war, but to make deterrence affordable. In these waters, cheap leverage now dictates global security. As long as uncertainty remains weaponized, the world's strongest navy faces an unsolvable economic equation. Subscribe for more strategic analyses.